Guys.
What's up, Nomad Nation? You've got Godfather, and above me, you have got Fireball. Today, we make up your Nomad Gamers. So let's get everything out of the way when it comes down to our socials. For all of you out there who are watching on all of my personal social media accounts, Kick, Twitch, and Facebook, thank you very much for tuning in. For all of you that are tuning in on Fireball's personal social medias like Twitter, Twitch. Are you on Kick yet?
I gotta relog into Kick,
On
but I'm on
Kick?
Kick on right now.
Okay, well, if you are on any of Fireball's personal social medias, thank you very much for tuning in this morning. For YouTube, we're doing pretty good. I looked at it last night and we are at like 35, 40 subscribers. That is a net gain of 10 followers from last week. So we're doing pretty good there. On the Nomad Gamers, I have it up right now. We're at 89 followers. So we are 11 followers short. So if you are out there and you are watching us on one of our social medias, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go over to Facebook. I need you to find the Nomad Gamers and please hit that follow. If you like the content that you see here, share it and tell the rest of your friends and your family the same thing. Any gamer, tell them to come on over and see what it's all about. Don't forget to tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays for Talking Tuesday and Thirsty Thursday, hosted by myself. And sometimes Zanar Crush Rider is with me. And then if you tune in the mornings, you'll catch Fireball doing his streaming. So, what do we have in store today?
Are we done?
Oh, I forgot one thing. We are streaming live from a new service. So, for many of you out there, you're probably thinking to yourself, "There's a whole new look to the Nomad Gamers." Well, you're correct. We are now live on our channel over on Discord. So, while you can't get into the channel that's labeled show, that's just for all of us, after the show is done and we start gaming or we do whatever we're going to do, you can go to vids and clips under general, and that's where you'll find Fireball and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got everything out of the way. It's
Shameless
on you
plug
there,
done.
Fireball.
Shameless plug. We're all done. All right. Cool. Well, just to start us off, I mean, as you can kind of tell from the background, we have this week was the launch week for Helldivers on Xbox. If you didn't see it yesterday, we were on playing Helldivers yesterday, and I was helping new players kind of learn the ropes and move on from there. Uh, but it ain't stopping there. Next week, October 3rd, or not October 3rd, September 9th, I think is when it's supposed to drop. Um, we're getting a whole nother DLC for Helldivers where we're going into Hive World, Terminated Hive Worlds, and we're starting to take the fight to them. So I'm excited for that. I really love the.
You would be.
Well, considering the fact, a lot of people were saying that this game was dying out really bad because of the past controversies that have came with this game and that have fallen on Sony for trying to push certain things. People were looking at this game as it was a dying game, and now I think we're sitting at a player count of over 200,000 from where we used to be sitting at like maybe 60,000 on a good day.
I'll say this, for being a first-time gamer last night on the game, it has a lot of good qualities to it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot about it that I do like, and there's a lot about it that I don't like. Uh, the part that I don't like, and I wish that they would change, and this is just for me, is the group has to stay together for the mobs.
They don't.
Did I understand that right last night?
You don't necessarily have to stay together. You can go off on your own, but the problem with that is if you die, you lose a majority of your stuff. Whether that be you'll lose everything. Your samples, your support weapon you had,
Well, I
any
get
backpack,
that,
and
but
then you'd have to trek back all the way back over to grab that. As is, if you were to stay with the group and you died on the group, we could just drop the beacon right next to us. You come down, pick up your stuff, and you're good to go. You don't have to stay in the group. That was it. Honestly, last night the reason we were just saying, "Hey, stay with the group," is because I was trying to teach as much as I could, and
well,
with it being on
I
a lower
get that.
difficulty and being so slow paced, it was a good time for me to try to teach you guys. Like Sweet Kitty said yesterday, she didn't get the chance to be taught all this stuff because when Chungus and I originally started playing with her, we dropped her on a level 10 and said, "Good luck, time to learn." Because not only is that the fastest way to level up, that's the fastest way to get requisition slips and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
finally having she had a change of pace to actually be able to learn how to play last night. So it was more educational for her as it was for you.
yeah. I mean, it's a good game. I'm gonna keep playing it. I got to figure out how to have that on my computer along with Grand Theft Auto 5 because, I've been getting hot and heavy back into Grand Theft Auto and building up my criminal empire on that game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I just got some things I got to figure out on my end. I might get a hard drive to store games on there to where the install's not that fucking long
Mm-hmm.
because right now these games are freaking massive.
And that's the
Um,
that's the one thing I want to actually talk about because if you look at every single game, and I don't know if you've noticed this or not, as we've been moving farther and farther into bigger games, the reason, and this is my opinion. So those who are sitting here saying you're wrong for this is my opinion. I think the reason why they keep these games so massive storage wise is because they're trying to take up all the space so you can't download another game. So you have to be like,
yeah,
"Oh, I've only got this game downloaded because it's 250 gigs Warzone." But, you know, they don't want another game competing on your storage drive because then it's going to take time away from their game.
yeah, and I thought the same thing too because I'm looking at every player has a certain number of games that interest them, and that's the only ones that they're going to play. Let's be honest for a minute. Not everybody out there plays the same games all the time.
Right.
For instance, Fireball loves to play Helldivers. I'll play Helldivers. Is it is it fun? Yes.
But it's not your cup of
Is
tea.
it my normal appetite for a game? No. Grand Theft Auto 5 is, Starfield is, Minecraft is. Those are the three games that they're my go-to games.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and Fallout 76, Fallout's always going to be near and dear to my heart. But as far as having all of these games, I get, sometimes you got to take a step back and you got to climb on top of the mountain and look down and see exactly what you want to do. And, that's a life thing, but it's also a gamer thing.
Mm-hmm.
What games do I really enjoy? What games do I really want to spend my time playing? And for an average gamer, it's average of about three games that they're going to play. One of those reasons is being the storage space, just like you said. The other one is there is some people out there, and I'm in that group, where it just doesn't interest me. And if the game doesn't interest me, then I can't get behind it. I do have to do something real quick. I'm gonna freeze. I know I'm gonna freeze. Just give me a minute.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take. Well, and like Godfather was saying, talking about how You know, we normal gamers, we have about 3 to 4 different games that we play, and it is one of those where
There, that's better.
um, storage devices or internal storage when like buying whether it be a PS4, an Xbox One, an Xbox Series X, or a PS5. Not and I'm not encompassing PC gaming in there because PC gaming being able to change out storage is so much easier than it is to change out on a console. Consoles have stayed roughly the same when it comes to storage, yet the games keep getting bigger. But
Yeah.
I remember back in what was it, the PS3, Xbox 360 days, a game like Black Ops 2, a game like Black Ops 1, and last and that generation of GTA 5, you were looking at a game that didn't um, they take up what, maybe a gig, maybe two.
Well, here's the problem. Okay. And it's not really even a problem. I have I have come back to the point where I've had to I've had to think more on the lines of uh practicality. And one of those practicality parts is this. Is back when you had the Nintendo, okay? When you had the regular NES and all the old school gamers out there that grew up on the NES, grew up on the Sega, grew up on the Atari, the Sega, Nintendo, Atari, the PC Commodore. Back then, you didn't have live service because the the consoles couldn't go online. Laptops were not available. Okay, so you had story based games that had an endpoint on that game. Then when we moved to the PlayStation 1 and we had that memory card, then you were able to save just that game to that memory card. I think you could have like 4 or 5 games on that memory card, and that was about it. But
Well,
then you could buy other memory cards to take up, 7 other games. You just had to label it. You had to remember which memory card was which.
well, and the other thing
The
is,
the problem today is this, and it's not even really a problem. Live service games are here to stay. Okay, we
yeah,
are not going into the past and getting a one person game like Fallout 4. I think Fallout 4 was probably the last big game to do this, where you had a start point and you had an end point. You had a story in between, but you didn't have other players coming in. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 kind of kicked that door in when they brought out their online and started coming out with regular DLCs and a million and one things to do in Los Santos.
well, and
Because
here's
I can't think of a game besides World of Warcraft that you could do that with before Grand Theft Auto 5.
well, and here's the other thing that I'm kind of looking at when we're talking about talking about the massive uh, storage that these games take up is comparing comparing your generation of growing up on games and my generation of growing up on games. Um, Today, you don't really see a disc.
Mm-mm.
Most of the hardware and most of the downloading that it takes for a video game is because everything is digital now. Instead of having a hard copy where most of the data needed to play the game was on that disc, you push that disc in, and then you had maybe what, 30 gigs of updates on it, if that.
Think of this, Fireball. Think of this, Fireball. If you go back a few episodes of the Nomad Gamers, I would say to probably May, when we were talking about developers and how slow it was for them to bring games out. You remember what one of the top reasons why they couldn't pump games out like they used to?
Shareholder.
One of the top reasons was cost.
Mm-hmm.
How much money are they saving by not having that CD? So instead of having, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 million CDs, for this game to be in every superstore out there. Now they have a code, and you go to them and you download it digitally to whatever you're playing on.
Right. And
So look at the money they're saving there.
what I'm trying to say though is the reason why gaming, video game storage or video game sizes are so huge nowadays, and why they're competing for low storage consoles or extended. We have to go out and buy an $80 extended, or not extended, but external storage, is because
Oh, it's pretty much extended.
yeah, you can't. You're saving money on the CD, yes, but you're putting that burden on your customer to not be able to play. Have, like you said, you like playing GTA. You kind of like Helldivers. Not really gonna meet the rotation, but you got GTA, Starfield, Fallout. Those are your three main. Having a DVD copy of that, and not having to have that 80 gigabyte, that 80 gigabyte storage on there, because you have to download the entire game plus the DLC. Having the base game on a CD and then just having that 30 gigs of storage, you could have more games on your laptop at that point, or on your console, or on your PC, whatever you're playing, and you can just go from there, instead of having to play what's on the chopping block next because I can't download this game.
Exactly. One of the other things that you said that kind of tripped an idea for me is this whole idea of DLCs. Okay, you're a big Grand Theft Auto player, or used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the DLCs that you get, the farther down you get on the DLCs, how much do you honestly play the original stuff?
That's
And
that's
I'll
a
give you an example.
that's
Uh,
a rough. That I know where you're going with this, and
yeah,
that's a big court case that's going on right now with Bungie and Destiny 2, is because they vaulted a bunch of their stuff. They vaulted the
no, no,
original.
no, 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 no. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I know what you're talking on that. Okay,
Are you
I
talking
get
about
that one.
getting rid of the original
No,
stuff, the stuff we don't play anymore?
hold on, hold up, Fireball, hold
Okay,
up.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. Grand Theft Auto. You remember the DLC that came out with the yacht, right?
Mm-hmm. That
The
wasn't even
yacht's absolute.
that wasn't really even a DLC. That just came out
It
with.
was. It was. It was just before Gunrunners.
Okay.
However, that yacht is absolutely fucking worthless.
Okay.
Absolutely worthless. It doesn't serve any purpose besides to show how much money that you have in the bank.
Okay.
Kind of like real life.
Okay.
DLCs to me could probably stand on their own as a game. If you wanted to get away from what you're talking about, these games having 250 some odd gigs to play, that's how you get away from it. You break the DLC away from the game. That DLC could probably stand on its own as a whole spin-off game.
And hold on.
And,
What
and
you
I'll
were
give
saying.
and I'll give you another example real quick that'll break it down Barney style for you. Is Fallout Far Harbor. You remember how that was a DLC?
Mm-hmm.
That could have been a whole nother Fallout game.
It could have been. However, and if you're done with your point, I have a point to make too.
I am.
Okay. So there was a way, and I get it. Uh, with GTA 5, for example, how many DLCs they have. Technically, the DLCs were free.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, and this I'm going kicking it back to old school Call of Duty, say Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2. You had, when they dropped their quote unquote DLC, which was their map packs. You
It
could,
costs money.
yeah, hold on. You could spend the money on the map pack or the DLC, and then when you went into matchmaking, they matchmaked you with players who also own those map packs. So what GTA could have done is they could have said, "Hey, you want to play these certain DLCs? You don't want to let's say you want to play gun running, but you don't want to play the nightclub DLC, or you don't want to play the hangar DLC that just came out, or the
That was
bounty,
garbage, by the way.
or the bounty DLC that just came out before the hangar one. Okay, you could
Mhm.
you could go into a setting. You could say, I don't want this one, I don't want this one, and I don't want this DLC, and then Rockstar could then matchmake you into a bunch of other players that had the same, I would say, preferences that you had, where you were then put in a match where you had these DLCs disabled, and they didn't affect the game.
Okay, so you know the acronym KISS, right?
Keep it simple, stupid. Yes, I know.
Okay, so and that's pretty much what I live by.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple, stupid. Because when you start making it confusing, that's when shit gets messed up.
But it's still very
These,
simple.
but hold on. That's an a la carte type way that you're talking about. What I am saying is this, okay? Is if they were to break those DLCs into their own game, because they already have a lot of time into this DLC.
Mm-hmm.
They could keep telling the story of Los Santos if you're talking Grand Theft Auto. They could keep telling the story of the Wasteland, whichever one you're in, if you're talking Fallout. They could keep telling the story of whatever campaign that you were in for Call of Duty, but they already have hundreds of hours into this game. They've already got the background. Are they recycling the same shit? Yes. But it's only an idea that some of these DLCs, to break this shit down, maybe they need to stand on their own. I have never been a fan of DLCs. I became a fan of how Rockstar did it and how Bethesda has now started doing it, where you don't have to pay for them. That made it easier to swallow, but I still am not a fan of DLCs.
Well, I will say this, and I'm looking at, because you keep bringing up Fallout 4's DLCs and stuff for this, is
Not really. The last one I said Bethesda, so you can wrap all their games into that one.
okay. Well, usually, and this is where there's a fine line between a DLC and a whole new game. Looking at Fallout 4's DLCs, whether it be Far Harbor, Nuka World, Automaton, and the Vault Tech calling one. The base game of Fallout itself takes what? If you don't know what you're doing, and if you're not trying to speedrun it and trying to actually enjoy the game, it takes what? 12, 15 hours maybe?
If you're a hardcore gamer and that's all you're doing, yes.
Right. As for you play Automaton, you play, and when I played Nuka World, when I played Automaton, it took me less than 4 hours to complete those campaigns.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why I feel like they did not make it its own game like you're talking about, and that's why it's just DLC. Is because it's a smaller, minute portion and a smaller, minute like side story than it is to the entire game. That's like, and I'm okay with having DLC. I can understand there being DLCs is because games like Helldivers,
Okay,
games
hold on.
like GTA, games like that, and it's live service because they keep adding content.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a fan of the live service, number one. It's fun, but I'm not a fan of it because, and I'll bring up Grand Theft Auto as another example. It got too futuristic. Flying cars, flying bikes. They got away from their core mission, which is Grand Theft Auto, which is being a hardcore freaking criminal.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to this DLC thing, for Bethesda's Fallout DLC development times, they varied. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some only took a few months,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a couple that took over a year.
Mm-hmm.
To bring out a new game takes between 2 to 3 years
Mm-hmm.
for a quality game. We already know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're taking 1 year or over a year And it just says over a year, so they're not giving us a month. Just think about that. Over a year. If you were to put on a new game compared to that DLC, people are only playing the same content for another maybe 12 to 14 months.
Okay,
Maybe.
let me ask you this, because you talk about how creating a good game takes 2 to 3 years. Quote you on that. You said a good game takes you 2 to 3 years to complete, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at the Call of Duty franchise. They come out with a game every single year.
Yeah.
And
Year.
and more times than not, in looking at the 2020, 2022 and 2023 Modern Warfare variations, a lot of people say that was not. It's not a separate game. It should have just been a. It should have just been a standalone DLC for Modern Warfare 2019, which I totally agree with you. Agree with them, I should say. It was very. There wasn't enough. There was enough um, content there to entertain its own game. Honestly, it was a $70
Uh-huh.
DLC for both.
Well, here's the other thing, Fireball, that you have to remember, okay? Um, every game out there, I mean, we could sit here and debate the games until the fucking sun goes down, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to bring up Call of Duty. I'm going to bring up my niche games. This is what I said in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know nothing about Call of Duty, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the last one was good quality or bad quality because it is not in my niche. You know, I could tell you Bethesda between Fallout 76 and Starfield. I could tell you Grand Theft Auto between 4 and 5
Mm-hmm.
or any of the DLCs in between,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't compare Far Cry 6 to Far Cry 5 because I'm not a Far Cry player,
Right.
although I do like that franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that Rockstar did do, and I've been looking this stuff up as you were talking, they're kind of smart. I got to give it to Rockstar. They're smart. However, they're not releasing the timelines for the DLCs. But if you think about it, of when the DLCs were dropping and how frequently they were dropping, you can kind of get a timeline there of what was going on
Mm-hmm.
between gun running and I believe it was the nightclub.
Well,
No, it wasn't. It was the facility.
I remember the three you, Chungus, and I were talking about this on
Mm-hmm.
a very long episode long ago when we first started
It
this
was one of our
podcast.
firsts.
It was one of our first because we were talking about the timeline of GTA 5 and how the events of the story took place, but the PS3 version of GTA Online took place before the events of the story, and then
Okay.
when we
I'm not
jumped in,
talking that timeline.
you're
I'm
not.
not talking that timeline at all.
Oh.
I'm not talking story timeline. Okay. That's a whole another beast that we could get into. But I was talking DLC. I'm not talking story.
Right, but you're not letting me finish what I'm saying though. Is the DLC timeline takes place after the story and takes place in present day.
I
And so
know.
when it
What
drops,
I'm talking timeline between DLCs. Okay.
mm,
I know where you're coming from.
okay.
What I'm pointing to, and I have a larger point that's coming. What I'm pointing to is the gap in time between gun running coming out and the facility coming out. And then the content wrapped inside of that DLC. You just said it yourself that the Fallout Far Harbor, and I can attest to this too because 76 did the same thing, where the DLC content only took you maybe five
A
hours. It was
fraction of
one
what the
night.
main game was.
Yeah, exactly. Now, gun running and the facility took a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
It did. Let's just be honest.
Well, and
They brought out a whole host of new shit. But here's my larger point because up until August 28th, and today's August 30th, all of these layoffs that are going on in the gaming industry is pissing me off. And it's not pissing me off because, well, it is pissing me off that people are losing their
livelihoods,
lifestyle.
livelihoods.
But the part that's pissing me off is when these AAA game industry gaming companies come out and tell us the costs are too high. This is too much. I mean, I could go back and find it, but I'm not going to. They had a list of like 5 things on there that they said they can't get these games out for. But then in the very next breath, they're laying people off. But yet they've got a steady fan base who are going crazy for their next installment of that game. And again, it's my niche, and I don't expect people out there to be going crazy over the same thing, but I know I'm in with a whole lot of people, okay, for both of these worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody out there is going crazy wanting a Fallout 5.
Right.
Everybody out there, and we already seen this. Everybody out there is going crazy over Grand Theft Auto 6. Everybody out there is going crazy because Elder Scrolls hasn't had a new update, or a new game, I should say, since like the 20 teens or the early, like 2009 or 8 or whatever the hell it is. If Crush Rider was here, he'd be able to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is this, is you've got decades between these games. 10 years or better. Grand Theft Auto is now at 13 freaking years.
Mm-hmm.
76 is about ready to run on 10 years.
It's at
It came out in
8.
17.
Yeah, we're at 8
It
years.
came out in 17.
We're at, yeah, 8 years old.
Yeah.
The game is 8
It's
years
got
old.
2 years. Yeah. And there's no mention of a Fallout 5. But yet we are, and I shouldn't say
Well,
we,
there was a
they,
mention of Fallout 5.
yeah, they've got a 1-page. They've got they have an idea of what they want to do.
It's
I've read that.
the only reason Fallout 5 isn't really obtainable right now is because they've also said that they're working on Elder Scrolls 6.
Sure, they've said that before. Here's my point. You got all these layoffs all over the world on the gaming industry.
Mm-hmm.
These AAA games out there who know they're going to make millions of dollars once they bring out Elder Scrolls 6, once they bring out Fallout 5, once they bring out Grand Theft Auto 6, when they bring out Red Dead Redemption 3, when they bring out all of these games that are popular but have been stuck in the muck for a decade or more. And some are running up on the decade.
Well, and that's the other thing.
All
Again,
I'm saying is this. We have all these layoffs, but we also have the developer saying the cost is too high, we don't have enough people.
but you also have to remember, and this is where a lot of AAA titles or AAA game developers are ruining the space for gaming. Is it's no longer a love. It's no longer they're not creating games for the love of the games anymore. They're creating
And they're not
games,
going to.
They're creating the games to appease the shareholders, so that way the shareholders that are
Yeah.
paying forward for them to keep doing what they're doing get money back in their pocket. That's why you're seeing a lot of these indie developers, whether it be one person teams, 10 people teams, or even like a small studio like Arrowhead and Helldivers. This is why you're seeing games and indie developers like this do so much better than these AAA titles, is because these AAA titles are looking at it for the money, when these indie developers are saying, hey, this is our passion, this is what we're working on, this is what we love. And
Don't fool yourself.
they are creating a video.
Don't fool yourself.
No, because and this is why I love Arrowhead Studios and the creators behind Helldivers, is because they are looking forward towards they they go out into the community and they look at what the community is talking about, whether they're out looking on TikTok, whether um and a great example of this is talk to anybody on Helldivers about Malevelon Creek. And the fact of the matter is Arrowhead saw how much that this was happening, and this was, I want to say maybe a year ago, that they made a major order to take Malevelon Creek. They made the everything that happened on that individual planet. canon and they listened to their players and were like, hey, you know, if there's a big enough uproar for something that's going on in the game and we notice it, we will work with you guys to make whatever is happening in their canon. You know, after we took the creek, they said, I think it was August 28th is Malevelon Creek Remembrance Day. And they not only did they make it canon, they put a cape in there for all those who fought on the creek and everything moving forward on it. And see, like, I don't think a AAA developer out there would take that time and invest back into the game towards their community.
Well, here's why I said don't fool yourself. If one of these indie games get big enough to catch the attention of a AAA game or a AAA maker like Microsoft, all of them are going to take the money and run.
I mean, and you say that, but looking at Helldiver, because even then, everybody thought, and going back to Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2, when Space Marines 2 dropped, they said, oh, Helldivers is going to die because of this AAA title trying to come in and take over and take away from the Helldivers community. They wanted to try to poach players from Helldivers because, hey,
hold on.
Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2 is pretty much the same thing.
So let me ask you this question. So are you telling me that this is something new about the shareholders just wanting money? Is this a new phenomenon that the gaming industry is in?
We've been in this.
I want to know.
I say we've been in this phenomenon for 5 to 8 years now.
No, you're wrong.
Because they're in.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If you make a company, what is your one main goal?
To make money.
Okay. We have not been. This is not a 5, 6, 7, 8 year phenomenon for the gaming industry. Actually, this has been going.
Yes, it has.
No, it hasn't.
Video games were not as mainstream as it is today. You look.
Yes, it was.
No, you look at back to 12, 15 years ago. Video games was not as big as what it is now. Video games were still quote unquote a luxury, but it wasn't as heavily invested into as it was when 2020 and the pandemic hit. And I will stand behind that every single time. People and AAA gaming companies were making great games. I wouldn't say they weren't making the best games like they were about 10, 15 years ago, but they were still making good games. After the pandemic happened, after that global phenomenon happened of people and shareholders were heavily investing into video games because they saw something there where they're like, ooh, we can make money off of this big time, is when we started getting sloppy shit like Call of Duty, like Fallout. I wouldn't even say 76 because 76 was before before 2020.
Here's what I'm saying. You got to be careful with.
This is how we get sloppy shit like the GTA 5 DLCs we have now.
I think the Grand Theft Auto DLCs now are some of the best they put out. When was the last time you were in that game?
3 months ago.
Yeah. They've been tying all of the businesses together. You now have smoke on the water that goes hand in hand with your weed shop. You now have stash houses that you can raid, and it's a variety. It's like a roll of the dice of which one you're going to get, whether it be for your cocaine factory, your meth lab, your weed grow house, or your counterfeit money.
Okay.
You now have the car wash that goes hand in hand. But here's what. Don't let me get off topic here. Here's what I was trying to tell you, and I'll stand behind this all day too. The gaming industry has always been beholden to the shareholder. Always. There has not been a time when they haven't been.
But it wasn't as prevalent until COVID.
Yes.
Not until COVID.
Yes. However, the only shift, COVID has nothing to do with it, okay? COVID has absolutely nothing to do with
it, though. If you look
No.
at it, when COVID hit, everybody was locked down. The bubble that gaming had got a major inflation because nobody was able to go out and spend their money on the normal things that they usually spend their money on. So stuff like video games,
Fireball.
stuff like streaming services, stuff like that.
Fireball.
What?
Fireball. Did that bubble bust after COVID?
Yes, it did.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. So what you are telling everyone right now is that the pressure is even higher on these developers now from the shareholders than it was, let's say, 2016.
Yes.
Let's say 2005. Let's say 2000, 1995, 1990. No, because here is the number one rule for shareholders. Always has been, always will be, and this is one thing that will never change when it comes to any Wall Street. I don't care if it's our Wall Street, the Tokyo Stock Exchange, Hong Kong. I don't care what stock exchange you're talking about. This is the number one rule for all of them. Always has been, always will be. Make the most money.
Right.
And if the company isn't, they're going to sell off, and it's going to send a message to that company.
Right.
That is why back in the 90s, Nintendo, Sega, Atari, and I got something on Atari here in a second, and Sega, Nintendo, Atari, and PlayStation, that's why you've seen all these games get ripped out in a year. That's why you couldn't watch Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune without every other commercial being a video game commercial.
Right. But what I'm trying to say, though, is looking back before COVID, deadlines for video games were a lot more lenient than where they were now. Can you?
No, they weren't.
Can you agree with me on that?
No.
No?
No, I can't. No.
Okay. We were, and this is something else that, and this is going back to Call of Duty. Look at Call of Duty before COVID. Okay, you had three developers that were taking turns with video games. They had a 3-year cycle to come out with their next video game. It was Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch that were controlling Call of Duty. Correct?
Yeah.
They had 3 years to come up with a new game and then sell it, and that's how it was. And then Infinity, or was it? I forget which one it was. It was either Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer. They dropped out, and it became just too. It became just too.
100
developers that were controlling that franchise, and they were being pushed heavily to come out with the next Call of Duty. They didn't have time to sit down. They didn't have a year to sit down, develop a story. While, let's say, for instance, and I'm going to be going back to about around 2010 to 2013 to make my case. You had Modern Warfare 2 drop, and then you had Black Ops 2 drop, and then you had Call of Duty Ghost drop. Those were the they had time to actually sit down, come up with a good game, come up with a good concept, and troubleshoot it and get it to where it was good to even halfway decent, good, or great. And then they actually were able to have a better product.
Okay, Fireball. Hey, Fireball. So, the pandemic year was 2020, 2021, and it sort of ended in 2022. Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I can say that.
Who was one of the biggest developers during that time?
Rockstar.
And Microsoft Xbox. Okay, because let's face it,
Microsoft isn't technically a game company. Isn't a game developing company. They didn't start acquiring stuff.
Okay, what I'm saying is I narrowed this down to Microsoft Gaming. Okay, just gaming.
Okay.
I don't care about the rest of Microsoft. So in 2020, the share price was at 234.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
2021, it shot up to 335.
Mm-hmm.
Guess where it was in 2022?
I don't know.
225.
Okay, so it dipped.
It shot back up in 2023, back up near the 300 mark, and it has stayed there
Okay,
since.
okay. But let me ask you this:
I will look at Rockstar.
was there a stock split for Microsoft?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Because that could be the reason why Microsoft shot back down the way it did. Because again, stock splits happen all the time when
15.
stock prices start to get so high. Apple did it like once or twice in the last 5 years as well. And I know this because I looked at my portfolio and realized that I had more than what I really thought I did.
Oh, here's one for you. Rockstar share prices in 2022, they lost 50%.
Okay.
Lost. Let's go to 21.
Okay.
Oh, you
Did they
motherfuckers. You're going to make this harder on me.
they lost
No, they did not.
they didn't split. Okay.
No. This one, it'll tell me if it's split. 37.1 below current share price. So they lost 37 in 2021.
Okay.
Whatever they're losing, it's not splitting.
Okay. Well, I'm also
Hold on. Okay, in 2020, and we can agree, 2020, everything was going to go up because people had nothing else better to do.
Mm-hmm.
It went up 70.21% in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So you are right that during the pandemic, but what I am saying is this is game companies have always been holding to the shareholder, no matter what. The
Okay.
almighty dollar, the almighty dollar runs companies.
Right, and
They're out to make money. They're not out. They're not there to do it for the love of the game.
right,
They're not.
I get that, but I'm also trying to say is they had when back in the day and back before they had more pressure from higher up, they had more.
Nope. I will not agree with you on this at all.
That's fine.
This is one that we are going to agree to disagree. So we can sit here and argue all day, but I've got something else I want to throw out there real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So this was released on Game Developer, which is a very reputable game industry news. Is that Nintendo is being very stingy with its Switch 2 dev kits, which we all knew.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they're being stingy with it. That's not even the top part of this. I reported on this on Talking Tuesday too, but it came back around again. And also, you remember how we said Ubisoft was going to start selling off some of its assets?
Mm-hmm.
They did. Atari, get this, Atari. Maybe they're coming back. Maybe they're making another run at this. Atari buys Ubisoft properties. What they bought, and it was none of the interesting ones. It was a bunch of the older Ubisoft
Mm-hmm.
IPs. Let's see here. I gotta get down to it.
Oh, here's something for you, quick, while you're looking for this. Starfield
What's that?
has announced its next new story DLC is officially in development.
Oh, finally, the rat bastards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so mad at them right now. I can't even see straight. That game has so much potential, and
Ruining it.
they're bending over and getting rammed.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck is this?
The other thing, while he's looking at
Oh,
this.
here it is.
Okay. Go ahead.
Including the How on Earth Was This a Whole Decade Ago Climber, Grow Home, and a sequel, Grow Up, Child of Eden, Cold Fear, and I Am Alive.
Yeah, those are all.
So Yeah, those are real old. I don't know exactly what Atari is angling for, but that was a company that I was not expecting to read about buying something from Ubisoft. And the other thing about Ubisoft that I found interesting in my research for Talking Tuesday was Skull and Bones is an Ubisoft game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is their answer to the live service of like Rockstar and Bethesda.
You know what Skull and Bones
And
was supposed to be, right? It was supposed
what's that?
it was supposed to be like a Black Flag shit. It was kind of it was supposed to be a mix between Assassin's Creed Black Flag and the ship fighting that they had in there,
Yeah,
and it was supposed to be also it was supposed to be kind of like a cross between what's it called, Sea of Thieves and the Black Flag mixture.
they hit it out of the park.
Not when it first launched. When it first launched, it
No,
was an
no, no.
absolute flop.
However, however, they have regained and they are pumping out more content right now for that game. They're whooping Bethesda, and they're almost on the same, in my opinion, just from looking at it, on the same level with Rockstar when it comes to new content coming out.
I might have to take a look at it then, because when it originally dropped, I was looking at gameplay of it and I was looking at reviews of it, and it was not going anywhere. So I might have to pick that up and actually take a look at it now.
Yeah, because they're on season like 2 or 3. And here's how you can gauge the health of a game. Okay, I've learned this over the past year of doing Talking Tuesday and Thursday. Go on their social media site. Go on their Facebook. Go on their Twitter. Go on their Instagram. Go on their TikTok. Go on whatever social media you fancy at that time, and go see how much they're actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will tell you what, uh, Bethesda doesn't do it. Or at least not with Starfield. Starfield goes a month without doing anything. We
Mm-hmm.
all know. You just said that they're coming out with a new DLC for them. Uh, Fallout, you could tell when they're in a lull because they don't push out the content or they don't push out the posts. Rockstar, every single week they do two. One on either Monday night or Tuesday morning, and another one on either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. But they rotate their shit every single week.
Mm-hmm.
They got something new in the front, like racing. Uh, this week is that Pico.
Kyle
You
Perico.
know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that one. They're pushing that one. Last week it was community races. I think next week is going to be like some stupid mini race. But if you want to know the health of a game, go check out their social media.
Well, and that's like, and Arrowhead also does the same thing with Helldivers. Is they've been pushing out a bunch of content with it, and they
Yeah.
have been. But one thing I want to bring up because I don't think we talked about it last episode is
What's that?
Hell Let Loose. It's a kind of like Hell Let Loose was like a World War II simulator type FPS. It is now getting I wouldn't say it's a DLC. I guess I could say it's a DLC, but they are finally getting a new DLC after being out for almost 2 years now. Don't quote me on that,
Yeah.
but they're getting a Vietnam DLC now.
It's
So,
kind of sad when they do this to games.
well, I
When they
would.
wait so goddamn long.
Well, the thing is Hell Let Loose was so. Hell Let Loose on its own was so great. It didn't really need a DLC because of the amount of the. I would say there's a lot to do on Hell Let Loose. I mean, it's you got to do a lot of walking, and there's sometimes where you're not going to see battle for a good 5 to 8 minutes because you're trying to be strategic about something. But Hell Let Loose on its own it is a great game, and the fact now that they were like, hey, and the attention to detail they had in the World War II aspect of it. Now that they're moving on to Vietnam, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that because again, they did so well for the attention to detail that they had.
Yeah, I get it, but my point behind this, and it goes back to new games. My point behind all this is you need to have, and not a lot. You don't need a lot. Everybody asks for the fucking moon when it comes down to a DLC. And I'm going to use a game here that I'm talking about it more because I started playing it again. But Starfield, I lost count at 80, I think it was 87 planets in that game. You know how many planets in that game have content on it?
Very little. Yeah, very little.
5,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 6. I might be off by a couple. But here's my point. You launch the game, you get people excited about the game, and then you wait years before you bring out anything else for them.
Well,
You don't need to bring out a lot. Bring out a new ship. Bring out a new settlement.
look at Star Wars
Bring out
Outlaws.
a, yeah. It's the same with every game. I mean, you could just change my terminology here. But if you were just to bring something new, a little bit, and you were to build on it like fucking Legos, you would keep players coming around. You would. And that's the one thing. I don't play Helldivers all that often, but that is the one thing that I can tip my hat to them on, is that they're listening to their community and they're bringing things that they want to see. You have to give credit where credit's due. And right now, Bethesda ain't doing that for any of their games.
Well, and it's like, in the more credit, and I can give a little more credit to the Helldivers because I have been I've been a day one diver, is not they it's not just a one off of what they've been doing listening to the community. It's been pretty much the entire length of the game has been nothing but something will happen in game, or they'll Arrowhead developers or whoever's in charge of their social media will go out, find clips of what's going on, find funny clips, find weird clips of stuff that's happening, and they'll be like, "That's canon now." Or they've literally told their community, "Hey, most of the stuff that happens within the sphere of the game is canon. So let's say, you got blown up, but you didn't die, and now you're ragdolling halfway across the map you're playing on, and you survive somehow. That's canon. Have fun with that. Post it. Everybody's gonna love it. You know, and the
Yep.
the one thing about a video game, and I cannot stress this enough because we see it all the time when it comes to toxic communities on games when they die. A community will make or break a game.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. Yes, they will.
and the one thing that I can always give credit to Helldivers, and people might say, "Oh, you're dick riding Helldivers. Stop glazing Helldivers." You go on there, and hell, I mean, we've had a couple bad apples that'll sit there and try to keep the console war alive and say, "Hey, if I get a dirty Xbox player in my lobby, I'm gonna shoot them." That's few and far between. But you've got a lot of people who are sitting here saying, "Hey, Xbox divers, you need help? Throw down an SOS beacon. I guarantee you'll have a bunch of veteran divers coming in to help you. You know, we want to teach you. We want you to have fun with the game. Come play this with open arms. Not only do we need the reinforcements, but we want to build this community." And that's one of the biggest things I like about it is it's a community driven game that has the developer's oversight.
Okay, so real quick, pause. Any comments on your end?
No, I've got nothing so far.
Yeah, neither have I. So, I think we're a good stopping point for this week.
You think so?
Really, yeah, that's all the news that I
Well,
I've seen.
I had a few more things going on, but we just kept going on tangents.
Yeah, that's normal for the Nomad gamers.
Yeah, I will say that. The one thing that I will bring out that I will say because it came across my feed is there's supposed to be a Mortal Kombat 2 movie going on.
Yep,
It has been delayed till next summer.
good.
Um,
Gives me more time to get some other things done.
um, Battlefield 6 drops next week. I'm
Yep,
not,
live service.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty and I can't believe I'm gonna say this because um it. Hold on.
You're gonna gobble it up.
I've got something going on, and I gotta stop. Bring this over real quick. Apparently, I've been inactive for so long on TikTok Live that it says I'm. They're gonna shut down my live because I'm inactive. But I will say, I never thought I'd come out and say that EA is the good guy. Like, if you've ever paid attention to anything that EA has done, whether it be with Battlefront 2, whether it would be with Battlefield 2042, whether it be with anything that they've done within the last 5 to 6 years, they have been the epitome of money hungry. We're going to release a really crappy game, and we're going to sucker people in and take their money. And with this whole thing going on between Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6, look if, and I might, I'm actually going to pull this up so people can see this. But one of the greatest things is if you go to YouTube and look up the Call of Duty the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 if you look up their trailer, the Black Ops 7 trailer. I'm sorry, I'm misspeaking right now.
Yes, you are.
I got to show you some of these comments because they are absolute. It's so funny.
As long as we don't see who commented them, that'll be fine. But we can't show anybody's name without their permission.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna go through some of these comments real quick.
Okay.
And you'll.
That's better.
From one guy, he says, "From a COD player, thank you for making it easy to choose Battlefield 6." Somebody else said, and these comments are getting more likes than the actual game. The Black Ops 7 trailer right now is sitting at 58,000 likes. This guy's comment has got 99,000 likes. Another comment says, "This actually made me pre-order Battlefield 6." Another one, "Black Ops is starting to feel like the Fast and Furious of video games."
Yeah.
Somebody else.
I'm not even a Black Ops player, and I can.
Best advertisement for Battlefield 6. Somebody else. 1% watching the trailer, 99% laughing at the comments. Somebody else, and I agree with this guy because this game kind of dropped off and nobody's talking about it now. You know what? I think Medal of Honor should come back.
They're actually still around. They're just doing single player shit.
Somebody said, people saying COD is getting too much hate right now. Personally, I think they're not getting enough. Can't even have a trailer without trying to shove a bundle in somebody's face.
Yeah.
This trailer is a perfect summary of everything I hate about COD. Not a single thing I like. EA is probably throwing a giant party tonight. Nice to see the COD developers still aren't listening to their own fan base and remaking random garbage. I mean, again, I believe, and I don't even know how many dislikes it has. They took down the dislike counter on the trailer because it was getting so much more dislikes than it was likes on the trailer. It's actually, I believe it's now, there are two videos out there that are higher than in dislikes for Black Ops 7. One is Justin Bieber's music video "Baby," and the other one is the Infinite Warfare trailer from 2018. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, anything else you got?
No, I'm really excited to see what certain games are coming around the corner. Again, I know we talked about it last episode, but GTA 6 got another delay, so we're not looking at until fall of 2026 now.
That's good.
I'm starting to lose hype in GTA 6. Will I still play it? Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I will.
Here's the thing.
Play it, but it's like.
Here's the thing, is, and I cannot believe I'm fucking saying this. If there is something broke, and Rockstar knows it, and that's why they delayed it, sure, I'm game for it. But here's the other thing, the other reason why I'm okay with it being delayed until fall of 2026. It starts getting fucking cold around here in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
We start. I don't know about where you guys live out there in the Nomad world, but I live in an area where around October, November, we start getting ice. We start getting snow.
Sometimes in
And
September.
if we don't, yeah, no shit. And if we don't, then the weather is beautiful. And I can actually sit here in the Shire and play a game with the garage door open and the back door open and have that beautiful breeze flying through. So I'm okay with it. I would rather it come out in the fall than in the summer, because in the summer, if it would have came out in May, there's absolutely no way I could have played as loyal as what I want to, because I'd have so many other things tugging at me. You got
But
summer, you've got
weren't you the guy
Memorial
that
Day, you've
weren't you
got
the
all
guy
these holidays and all this stuff.
weren't you the guy sitting there saying that they shouldn't keep delaying it just like a couple months ago?
Sometimes I told you, sometimes you gotta climb the mountain and you gotta look at the bigger picture from up top. And up top, for me personally, I would rather have a fall release than a summer release, because at least in the fall, it's so freaking nasty outside. I don't want to go out. Now, is it going to suck for our Aussie friends or for our friends that are in the southern hemisphere? Yes, because for them, it's going to be coming out during their summer. But it works out great for me because it comes out during our winter or
Yeah,
fall into winter.
and yeah, I agree with you on that. But again, it also just they
You know
built
what? I
they
would.
built up so much hype around GTA 6, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, delay it. That's fine. You know, it's just a 6 month delay. We're gonna get it soon enough. We're kind of counting down the days. You know, if there's something wrong with it, yeah, go ahead and fix it. We're excited for it." And then you get, because they just announced this delay like 2 weeks ago. We
Yep.
were we were what, 2 months away from getting from it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this is where I laugh at gamers. Okay, I laughed at them hyping it up. Okay, I really did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still laughing at all of the hate that Rockstar is getting from the gaming community, that all these people are pissed off because they got delayed to October. I won't lie, my initial reaction, I was pissed. But then once I calmed down a little bit and I got to thinking a little bit, it's perfect. I'm okay with it. But for everybody out there who is pissed off at Rockstar because they delayed Grand Theft Auto 6, guess what? I'm laughing, because you're still going to buy it, you're still going to play it, and you're still going to log hundreds of hours on this game.
and
Let's just be honest. Be honest.
you've already stated what I said in the beginning is, again, you know, they delayed it. Am I happy? No, I'm not. Am I still gonna play it? Yeah, but the thing is I'm not so excited where I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna drop everything when I play it. It's gonna be like okay, I'm gonna boot it up. If I like it, yeah, I'm gonna probably play it pretty heavily. But it's not gonna be like, oh, there's a game dropping at this time. You know, we got GTA 6 dropping at this time. Let's say we've got what looks to be a great Call of Duty dropping, or let's say Battlefield 6 had to get delayed, and Battlefield 6 is dropping around the same time that GTA 6 is dropping. Ooh, what am I gonna play? I'm not gonna play these two because GTA 6 is dropping. My way of going on it right now is yeah, okay, GTA 6 is coming out. Am I excited for it? Yes, but am I gonna drop everything I'm doing to play it? Probably not. Unless
Yeah.
unless it knocks my freaking socks off and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so immersed. This is so amazing."
I need more information on the game. Like, I think some of the information we've gotten has been lacking.
Give us a gameplay trailer.
Give us something.
We've
Let me
seen
know what this Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be all
we've
about.
seen
Like,
cinematics. I'm not gonna lie, the cinematics amazing. You know, they I knew what they were doing when they were showing the female protagonist in that dress. You know the one I'm talking about.
yep.
when they showed the female protagonist in that dress, and they were like, "Oh, I'll look at the jiggle physics. Look at the get. We're gonna get you hyped for it." And it's like, you could show me as many cinematics a part of that game as you want. I want to
Doesn't
see.
matter.
I want to see what the gameplay is gonna look like. You know,
Yeah.
show us.
What?
Show us
Hold on.
what's going on. Like, if show us a police shootout gameplay trailer or what.
Hold on. Here's the biggest question that everybody has out there. What's our criminal empire going to look like? What are we going to have?
Online.
What are we going to have that is new? So Grand Theft Auto 5 online, GTA Online right now is pretty badass. Especially with the criminal empire that you can build. And they've gotten better into 13 years. Instead of me having to find a lobby with only 4 or 5 players in it and hope to God I don't get griefed, now I can go to an invite-only session. So I can invite only who I want in that lobby.
Right.
Or I can go to a crew session. And by the way, if you're a Grand Theft Auto 5 player out there, the Gnomad Gamers is a public crew. You can join our crew. And then once you join our crew, you know, we'll invite you to our sessions or whatever.
I'm going to say this.
Here's a big question I want to know. What is the criminal empire going to look like in 6?
I want them to start over. I want them to I mean, you know, bring out. There are businesses in it that are great, but I want them to completely start over with GTA 6. I don't want any aspect of GTA 5 Online to come over to GTA 6.
Well, guess what?
You can create something. I mean, you know, there are things you can bring back, but when you originally launched GTA 6, I don't want there to be.
What are they gonna? What is the basics? What is it that they could bring out that Fireball's going to go? That's a damn good idea. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I can't think of anything.
Okay, let me ask you this. What was one of the biggest things to come out around the base game of GTA Online? One of the very first things, not talking businesses, not talking anything like that.
The Office. What? Okay, heists. You got me. What?
Heists. GTA.
They still have heists.
GTA. But the thing is GTA before they brought out The Office, and I'm not gonna lie, The Office, good idea. Weed farm, coke lab or meth lab, coke farm. You know, good idea. Those are great. I'm not saying they're not, but when you get into the point of a facility, don't bring that back. There's no reason to bring that back. You know? The hangar. Do I think?
Please don't.
There are 2 different types of hangars. You've got Oscar's hangar, where you in one of the newest DLCs. Don't bring that back. You know, bring back, and if they do, they should not. It shouldn't be its own thing. You know, you're talking about gun running, and I'm gonna make a comparison to the GTA 5 story to GTA Online. When Trevor buys Mackenzie Field, he runs guns out of it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
you don't do that in online.
No, you have to buy the hangar. You have to buy the hangar, whether it be at LSIA or whether it be at Fort Zancudo. You have to buy that hangar, and that's its completely own thing. There are things in GTA Online they could wrap together, like gun running. They could put the hangar with gun running instead of having just a bunker.
They could actually make the hangar a part of your drug running too.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things that they could do with GTA 6. The one thing I will say though is when I say start from scratch, you know, do what you did originally on GTA Online, where you start from scratch. You know, you've got the missions you can play to kind of start storytelling and building the world around you, and then start bringing in like DLC for heists. Because when GTA Online first dropped, it was you had the missions. That's how you made the money. The scaling for missions and how you made money was off the charts, and they had to fix that because you were making a couple of million in a couple hours off those missions. But I mean, that was the only. Only way you were.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
Hold on.
Hurry up because I'm gonna forget.
Just go ahead. I lost my train of thought. Go.
Okay, so I agree with everything you're saying. Okay. However, if that is the focus of what they want to do, the heists, the missions, then here's what they need. They need to put more focus on your crew. They need to make it to where if, let's say, Nomad Gamers has, and I'll use some things on Grand Theft Auto Online, The Office per se. Okay. If I'm not online and Fireball comes online, you should be able to run missions out of one office, the Nomad Gamers office. You should be able to do stuff out of that office
I disagree with you on
that
this when
helps the
we've had this
community.
conversation before.
So what?
I said I disagree with you on this when we had this conversation before, but go ahead.
What's the other thing that they keep saying, that they keep harping on? The reason why they can't bring out so much, because they're using so much server space for everybody to have this crap.
Right.
They brought out the MC, and the MC is a failed.
Okay.
It's a failed thing.
I will say this.
The Office is a failed concept too.
Okay, Godfather.
All of these concepts.
Godfather. Hold on. The reason why they can't come out with the shit is because people are selfish. People want the thing for themselves.
Well, I get that.
You have somebody who, like you said, you want them to have it be crew based, where they can all go to this office and they can do, or this motorcycle club, whatever, clubhouse or whatever, and they can do stuff from there, and it's a single entity for that crew. More people are going to look at that and say, I want this for myself. I don't want to be a part of something, and I want this
That's
for
fine.
myself. So they're going to.
You know how you solve that?
How?
You know how you solve that? You make it expensive, even more than what it is now, to where you have to look at. Okay, I'm going to bring up another game here that I hardly ever bring up. Look at World of Warcraft. They centered everything around guilds.
Right.
Okay. You can hold on, Fireball. You can barely do anything in World of Warcraft without a guild. You could be a low-level guild and have 2, 3, 4 players, but you're not going to be able to do the 25-man raids. You're not going to be able to do the lower level raids because you don't have the firepower to do it. You need the other people. Mm-hmm. Grand Theft Auto could do so much more if they were to, I'm not going to say copy that model, but make it. I don't even care if they keep it the same, where Fireball can have his shit and I can have my shit. But what they need to do is, if you belong to a crew and you want to, which most people won't, but whatever. But let's say the MC. Let's take the MC for instance. If I'm the prez and you the VP, and we have this whole hierarchy. Let's say I drop offline for, let's go 2 weeks. That seems like a decent amount of time in the gaming world. After 2 weeks, when the VP comes on, or when the Sergeant at Arms comes on, or a member comes on, and you notice, oh, hey, look, Gosfather's been gone for 2 weeks, 14 days. Do you want to change leadership?
Okay, I can see where you're coming with that, and there are certain,
because most games have that.
There are certain things in GT Online can implement, and I feel like it would be pretty successful if they did. Is from World of Warcraft is one, have a guild banking system. Have something to where
a crew bank.
If you have extra money, you can put it in that, and it can go towards having crew specific or community specific properties. Like, let's say for instance,
you got Moore's Mutual, right? So if you wreck a car, they automatically take it out of your account and they put it back at the office like they do now.
Right. Hold on. But what I'm trying to say though is, like, they could do the crew banking system, and now I think that would be pretty cool to have. And
yeah.
They can, whatever in the bank, and either you can contribute to the bank, You don't have to contribute to the bank. But whatever you contribute to the crew banking system, you can then take that money from the bank and buy a community area with it. So, like, let's say, for
Yes.
instance, you bought the Playboy Mansion. You know, your crew can hang out there. You
Yep.
can do some cool stuff there. You know, you want to set up targets. You want to just be able to go there and relax and hang out and not have to worry about anything. You can do that. However, I also believe that in order for a banking system like that to work, players need to be able to have the individuality of being able to go out and make the money the way they need to, whether it be through
Yeah.
cargo from the office, vehicle cargo from the office, or the top three money making ways that you do with the motorcycle
There's a
club.
very easy way to get around that. You do a 90-10 split. 90% of whatever you're doing goes to you.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to Fireball.
Mm-hmm.
The 10% of that automatically by the games goes to the crew.
Mm-hmm.
And then the crew only gets 10%. The player gets 90. And if the player wants to give the crew any more, let's say donate to the fucking bank, then they can.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But I think like taking and I think you and I might be miscommunicating on this, but taking away a like way of making money like the motorcycle club or like the office and giving it to the crew, I don't think is a good idea because you're taking away a vital way of making money on the game.
But both of them are set up for multiplayer. Now, I would agree with you when it came down to, like, let's say, the weed farm. I would agree with you on, let's say, the meth lab or one of these real small ones. Okay, I would agree with you on that because that's set up for a single player. And it's also set up for multiple players
Mm-hmm.
because some of the larger shipments you need more than one.
Mm-hmm.
But when you walk into your motorcycle clubhouse and you look up and they've got a hierarchy there, but there is nothing there from the game to force, and this is on Rockstar, this ain't on the gamer. But let's say you belong to the Nomad Gamers MC,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I'm not online. I'm the one that started it.
Mm-hmm.
You have no access to anything
Right.
in the MC.
And I get that. And I can understand where you're coming from. And I think this is where the miscommunication is happening. If you want to turn the MC, let's say you want to turn the clubhouse into a community property, okay? You have to take out the businesses that go along with it.
That's fine.
So,
I don't think the businesses should be attached to the MC.
Right. But what I'm saying though is, and if you want to, you can take you can take the clubhouse, you can take the office, turn it into a community property. However, everything that is associated with those properties, i.e., whether it be special cargo, vehicle cargo, or your illicit substances that you have to pull that out from.
Okay, I agree with you on like all the drug running stuff for the MC, but for the office, I don't. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because all three that you said require multiple people.
No, they don't. They do not.
But they do. If you want to turn and burn, you can run them. You can run any of this with one person.
Yeah.
Okay, it's simple to do. However, what I'm saying though is the office. Let's be honest with everyone for a minute. Fireball. The office stuff, hardly anybody does. They might do the garage. They might do the garage, stealing the cars and delivering them. They might. But I'm going to tell you now, the cargo one ain't worth the time of the day that you put in to do it. It's a ripoff. The special cargo, that is also not paying all so well. So most people don't do it, okay? I'm just telling you what I have observed while playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
However, all the illegal substance for the MC, a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to keep the office intact, to include the garages and the
Warehouses.
No, the garage where you can upgrade your vehicles. You keep that to where the crew can utilize it instead of going all over the place. That'd be great.
Well, and then like, I have sat down with a bunch of people because when I used to be heavy into GTA, I had this huge elaborate thing for earthquake, for the GTA office. If they were to make the office a community space, this is what they need to do, you know. And again, get rid of the warehouses because it's a community space. You know, you can work on those by yourself, and if it doesn't, if it flops because people don't play it and because people don't like it, Rockstar, don't bring it back or get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Okay, but community space office. You know, you walk up, you walk in like you would normally to your office. You got your receptionist. You guys can hang out there, sit at the table. You know, the CEO can
See,
sit. CEO
you're
can
taking
sit.
the heart and soul out of this.
Hold on. CEO can sit in that spot, and you know, you guys can have a meeting, discuss whatever you guys want to do. Um, you get to the car. You get to the because it's what, a 20 car garage for each floor.
About that.
Depending on how big your crew is, one you can bring one car from your personal garage to show off in the space.
That's what you got the car show for.
That's what you got the garage
But
for. And then if you
here's
wanted
what
to, you could bring that personal vehicle to the garage to upgrade it without the threat of being griefed.
you need to give it some meat and some potatoes, okay? You and me are going to go back and forth on this because we have two wildly different ideas on what should be and what should not be.
Mm-hmm.
But Rockstar itself has set up some of these to where it is supposed to be multiplayer. And I think the framework that they did, I think needs to be hammered down on more. So that's what I'm looking for in Grand Theft Auto 6 is if they bring back the MC, which I'm pretty sure they're going to. If they do, I am hoping that they make it more of a crew central location. If they bring back the office, I hope that they make it a crew central location. Because while I like to go out and do shit on my own, there are times when I really wish that this game was more. I'll give you an example. You, me, and Sweet Katie Pie go play Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All of us own, not all of us do, but just imagine this. All of us own all of the businesses, all the sub business.
Mm-hmm.
I have to run and make my money and do my stuff. So we spend a half hour doing all my shit in some order.
And this is
Then hold on. Then we take another half hour and run all of your stuff because you want to have your businesses doing what they need to do. Then we take another half hour to do Sweet Kitty Pies. When in my thinking, if you were to break this all down as a crew and up the ante a little bit, make it a little bit harder, make it to where you need 2 or 3 people, you know, up the reward for everybody, you could cut that down to a half hour and then we could move on and do a heist and have the heist planning in your office.
Well, and this is the heists can go towards there should be certain heists that are crew based only or community based only. I agree with you on that. However, I will say looking and this was something that Rockstar talked about a long time ago when they dropped these organizations was these like the weed farm, gun running, stuff like that, that's supposed to be quote unquote passive income. You're supposed to, and I know because I've played with you a ton on this, is you like to steal the supplies. You don't like to pay for it. So that's what
Love stealing it.
that's why it takes so long is because me
No.
hold on,
No.
hold on,
Hold up.
hold on. I will go
Well,
in
be
there.
factual.
I will pay the 75,000 that it is to get supplies, and then when the supplies get there, you know, it's eating into some profit, but I'm still making profit on it. It's not.
Hold on. Be
You're not.
factual here. Be factual for a second here, Fireball.
Okay.
I go out and I steal stuff, all the supplies, when there's nobody else with me. When we're doing things, and I say it takes us a half hour, is because we're selling the product. It isn't stealing the product. It is selling the product.
Selling the supplies.
When you have like the delivery thing. But afterwards, after we're all said and done, and we've done everything we're going to do, later on, I go back and I steal for the weed. I go steal for the meth or the coke. I go do whatever I got to do to resupply everything on my own. But if they were, and here again, Rockstar kind of set this up for a multiplayer, because if they didn't, you wouldn't have a fucking timer on it with multiple vehicles. That's all I'm saying. They set it up as a multiplayer. If it's supposed to be passive money, which it is, but it's supposed to be for a single player, then get rid of that stupid timer and get rid of the multiple vehicles for 5 fucking deliveries each.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking on top of looking at because and they haven't updated anything when it comes to the businesses either.
No.
That business model was set up to be in public lobbies only. Now that they allow you to be in private lobbies, then it's kind of there's no point on having that kind of stuff. Having the timer, having multiple vehicles, stuff like that.
There's no point in having a timer even in a public lobby. None. Zero. What is the point in a timer in a public lobby? Because you're already racing.
Hold on. Because when one person is selling, another business cannot sell until that person is done selling. So that's why they have the timer there.
Actually, no. There could be 2 businesses selling at the same damn time.
Are you sure? Because when I played it,
yes.
you can't.
No. Because
people can steal supplies and people can sell. You can't sell at the
same
time.
Yes. Multiple people can sell at the same time because maybe a month ago when I was playing, I was going up the east side. There was another player going up the west side. Same exact business. I believe it was weed.
Okay.
And this motherfucking griefer flew east, hit me, flew west, hit them. But here's another thing that Rockstar needs to fix before 6 comes out. And this is for PC only. They need to fix it to where I can speak to somebody when I'm raiding.
They need to, and this is something that has held GTA back.
Or in the lobby.
They need to finally come out with cross-platform.
That too. But bigger than that, I need to be able to have voice conversations with somebody that I am raiding or doing a mission with. Hey, I'm going to go right, you go left. Or they say, hey, you go right, I'll take left. Or I'm going to drive, you sit. But as it stands now, you have to guess what a player you do not know, what are they going to do?
Well, and you have to look
and
at
then without being able to talk, how are you to make that relationship to grow these crews?
Well, and that's the other thing you also have to look at is because there are voice chat settings. You may have your voice chat setting off to where you can't hear anybody.
No, look it up. No, PC you cannot talk. Look that up. I looked it up because I thought the same thing.
Is it push to talk or is it just you can't talk at all?
No, can't talk at all.
Okay. Well,
and that's only for PC. That's not for Xbox or PS5. That is just for the PC platform. That's something that Rockstar needs to fix.
That one of the biggest things that has kind of turned me away from playing GTA is because, like you said, you jumped from PlayStation to playing on PC, and you're no longer playing GTA 5 on PlayStation. You had to fully restart on PC.
And it's actually a good thing.
You had to start from square one.
It really is.
I've thought about it, but the thing is like, I did the math on how many hours I have on PlayStation alone. I have over 2,300 hours on GTA Online.
Yeah.
I don't.
But here's the thing. You can.
And that's why
being somebody who is OG and switch platforms, having to switch, start from scratch again, I like it because I can fix some of the fucking stupid things that I did on the PS5 and fix them on the PC. Like having my businesses everywhere. Now, I just wait until I can buy it and they're in a small shot group. So it doesn't take me forever to get to another business.
You could, and we'll talk about this
I know you can. I know you can.
But no, that's the biggest thing is I feel like in GTA not having cross-platform, but not also having cross progression is something that has seriously shot it in the foot.
Yeah. Same with Bethesda's Fallout, because I went from PS5 to PC. I get no cross-platform. That's their decision. Not, it is what it is. However, the Atom Shop, whatever I bought,
Should come over.
should be in my account and should be transferable, because a fucking brick wall is a brick wall on the PS5 or PC, or yeah, PS5, and it's a brick wall on the PC. Those two, there's nothing different. I own it.
Mm-hmm.
Give me what I freaking bought.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying on that. We are out of time.
Mm-hmm.
We're way over time. So
Well, like Sweet Kitty said, is we don't want to forcibly
I know,
cut stuff short.
I know, but I gotta take a leak too. So guess what?
All right. Well,
You have any comments?
no, I've got nothing.
Okay.
But I will say, since we are kind of wrapping it up, I will go first so I can get everything kind of turned off and picked up. Thank you guys for those who did stay and watch. Thank you for being a part of the Nomad Nation and being a part of the Nomad Gamers podcast. We do thoroughly enjoy having you guys here, even if we aren't necessarily talking to you guys. Um, then I'm sorry, but in order for us to talk to you guys, we need you guys to have a little bit more interaction with us. Ask us questions. Have a comment. Say, hey, if we're talking about GTA, put in a controversial comment like, hey, I believe, something in GTA should work this way, and we can actually have something that we can sit there and be like, that might give us a bigger perspective of what's going on. But again, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I enjoy talking to you too, Godfather. So, with that being said, I'm gonna sign off.
Alrighty then. So hey, great episode today, Fireball. Great. I wish Zanar Crush Rider could have been here. He would have given us some very good insights. But we understand why he couldn't be here today. He had to work.
Mm-hmm.
But tomorrow is Sunday. I'm gonna have Sunday Fun Day, where I'm gonna be on here playing. I'm gonna download Grand Theft Auto again, and I'll probably mothball Helldivers until next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so tomorrow will be Grand Theft Auto. Monday's gonna be Starfield, and then Talking Tuesday, 7 p.m. on this channel, this one right here, on Discord. Uh, that's about all I have, really.
Oh,
Thank you for watching the Nomad Gamers. Peace and love. Godfather's out the door.
I will say did forget to mention I think I'm gonna be getting 7 Days to Die this week, and as you guys know, I do a lot of collaboration with Gaming Utopia. We might be playing 7 Days. We might be playing Helldivers, Space Engineers. Him and I just got to sit down and talk and see what we're going to be coming up with. But other than that, hope you guys enjoy and talk to you later.